Alright, so let's talk about, well, like I said, everything after the research phase, right? So now we're looking at branding and copywriting. Essentially, branding and copywriting, they're just an extension of research, okay? So when we look at, let's say, features through time, right? Features that have lasted the test of time. For example, the transition from, bulky over-the-head earphones now to a little bit more modern, a little more sleek-looking in-ear buds, right? A pretty much, how do you want to say it, market-wide transition is what we're looking at, right? We're looking at those features as basically our prime selling points, right? So let's head to Amazon. I'll show you an example. It's not Sound Move. Who is it? I'm not sure. They were in the top results not too long ago. We're looking at all the models. I'm trying to find the model that you sent me. I know for a fact that it's... actually, hold on. Let's do this. Let's see. Huh, they changed the name on it. That's weird. Anyway, so if we're looking at something like this, right? If we're looking at how we present our product now, right? Because we've done the research, we've established that the product's a good seller, we've established that, yes, there's a relevant market for it. The question is, how do we do the research, right? So one of the methodologies we go into is looking at the features through time, right? So if you look at the selling point, right, for most true wireless models or most models that are current, we're gonna see pretty much the same thing, which you mentioned to me as well. Yeah, it's kind of like a market standard now. Let's open up a completely different model, right? But literally what we're noticing is, look at how small they are, and they stay in your ear well, right? That's pretty much I guess that's the main issue most people have. Oh my god, these headphones are gonna fall out my ears, they're so tiny, blah blah blah, right? So the first thing is security, I guess. The first thing is ensuring actual, enjoyment of your purchase. That is a problem, unfortunately. It's more of a quality issue than anything, but if we're looking at being relevant now, and especially moving towards Christmas, then we're looking at really covering all of the angles or covering all of the bases. So something like this, right, where we go in and we would say, let's call them F8 for now. We won't come up with a name till tomorrow. So let's say F8 true wireless headphones, right? And the copy for this, if we're looking copy-wise, the copy is literally just pulling from features, right? And copy, in our case, is audience-specific. The reason we choose broad products like this is to appeal to a wider range of audience. However, we still sell those people as individuals. We still appeal to them on an individual level. So let me pull up an example of the sales page we did for it, and probably the sales page I'm going to end up using with you. Alright, I guess I'm going to have to scroll all the way up here, that's fine. So really now, come on, keep going up. I guess the minute details we look at during the research phase, the why is this product still relevant now, the changes through time essentially, so the in-air security, the waterproof feature, the true wireless, the charging base, literally everything that we went through to determine that this product is well. That's how we start writing copy. So let me pull up the sales page. No, not the backpack. One up. Way back when. Okay. So if we look at a model like this, and bear in mind all the images here and all the copy, that's literally just taken from AliExpress and Alibaba, right? We use what we have in this particular instance, but in this instance, it ends up as a sales page. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're gonna compare features, and it's pretty much like a plug and play after the research stage, because really after the research stage, all we're doing is just matching features to relevant audiences. If my preview would ever open up, okay. Zoom in. I want to bring the center screen, and I may have zoomed in a tad bit too much. Okay, so matching features to relevant audiences is incredibly simple, right? We picked the product because all these features we have determined to kind of last throughout time, right? Throughout the test of time. So whether it's this particular model, right, or we come over here and we see another headphone model and we say, what model is this? It's okay. I'm not gonna make these. All right. So let's say we find another model. No, my mouse is messing up. And literally, if you look at it, they sell the same way, right? Completely different imagery, completely quote unquote different branding, and a different mold, right? A different product mold for sure. But look at the terminology. True wireless, Bluetooth headset, right? We're literally focusing on features that last through time. Wireless charging case, new feature, or well, relatively new feature, let's say. New feature to the broader market, not just to the people who are more tech savvy. So charging case for, battery on the go. Not only is it small and convenient, it'll last a long time. So it provides you higher value than the older models, right? Than the older, bulkier models that some people may not like. I'm not gonna read all that. Comfortable fit, indoor and outdoor activities, right? This is where they keep it broad. This is where we start to narrow down in our advertising, not so much in our copy, which is where we're just driving a bunch of general traffic for the purpose of, making quick sales. But in our advertising, we appeal to each one of these people differently. So if you come over here to our sales page, and we start looking at our different features, right? An example of the video that I told you about was me dropping the headphones in a glass of water, right? I got that idea from one of the graphics that we ended up doing. And the reason I did that is to appeal to the workout audience, right? To the people who are active in their daily lives, cross country, people who like, say, track and field, people who are into sports, literally any type of movement-based activity, somewhat monotonous, where you would want music, right? Even something as simple as, oh my god, you do ballet, I have these great headphones while you're training or stretching or whatever. You do yoga, you won't even feel these headphones in your downward dog position, etc., right? That's how we feel in our ad creative. But in our copy, it's a little bit broader, at least for this purpose, right? For the purpose of utilizing it for single product sales pages on Shopify. So in our copy, when we come in and when we look at, oh, this is XYZ, what I'm going to do with a product, it's literally just the same features round and round. Mini and high tech, small futuristic, right? Focusing on the new features. Waterproof rating, not necessarily a new quote unquote feature, but the IPX7 gives it, the IPX7 rating gives it an edge over competition. So we make it a selling point. We make it, right, into one of our main selling points. And then literally display functionality, touch control design, oh, touch this, touch that, that's what it does. And then we're just doing the same thing that people literally do in Amazon Images. Literally in Amazon Images, any good e-commerce brand, you're going to see a variety of things. You're pretty much going to see product features intermingled with real life relevance, right? Or real life, let's say, real life, as I type, and let's call them real life sequences, right? Literally just imagery and photos of your product going to work or being used out and about. So I'm gonna go over here. Let's have some fun. I didn't want Jaybird's Best Buy link. I actually wanted their actual site. Okay. So Jaybird is a headphone brand. They have been around for literally ever. I actually remember buying them when I was younger. So they've been around, right? But they're not what you would normally listen to or normally hear when, I guess, look at when you look for headphones, right? And most people now, it's kind of a cult-like thing. If you ask for recommendations for headphones, generally speaking, you're always going to get something like, oh, go Beats or go Bose or, one of the higher end models, right? However, there's a brand selling a branded product, right, for $180. Quite successfully, I should add. And literally, all of their quote-unquote professional, let's say, jargon, all it boils down to is displaying the product and then displaying product relevance in real life, right? You're showing those features, those new features, the features that lasted through time, and then the improved upon features, right? We're looking at in phase 2, towards the end of phase 2 and into phase 3, literally just lining those features on a page and presenting them to a customer. So if we look at their copy, it is true wireless, no wires, no worries, playtime, charge case, sweatproof, water resistant. They have an app, so it's not comparable to our model. It actually sets them way apart from anybody else in the market. But, secure and comfortable fit, and then functionality. And the rest of the page is literally product display, right? That's all it is. Product display and then relevance, like I said, intermingled with real life moments. Look, her face is wet, splashing water in the face, not worried about the headphones, right? And then they have an accompanying video for each, which is just phenomenal sales tactics, right? We do this on a much smaller scale getting started because we want to test product by product. So our version of this very well put together professional sales page is something like this, right? We don't have a video per feature. We don't have nearly as many, let's say, social points as a company like this or really any other established business would, right? So immediately from that standpoint, we end up being, I guess, behind the mark competition wise. So at the very least, our imagery and our presentation have to be a cut above the rest, or else we're just looking at zero sales, which is where a lot of people are right now, right? So a quick recap is, after you're doing the research, literally the brand kind of writes itself. Literally the features that we harp on during research, the features that we take a really strong, solid look at are the features that come into play in our copy, right? So if you look at our product versus literally any product on the market, it mimics it, right? It falls right in line. Our presentation might be a tad bit better, our videos are a tad bit cleaner, and we know how to drive traffic, but really the core of it stems from focus on that product research, right? All of those features that that really make the product, I guess, stand out from the generic models or from the step down from marketers that are still stuck in phase 1 of research and phase 1 of product selling, right? So that's kind of the basis behind why we do things a certain way and why we do research a certain way and we track changes through time versus just what's viral and what's selling now. Because once we have an established market, then we have multiple established angles, right? Which brings us to the question of ad creative. So how do we go about appealing to different people, right? To broader audiences, only utilizing, let's say, minimal resources, what we have at our disposal. So some clever Photoshop skills, right? So not that it's good. Let me not knock my designer, but this is not the super professional work, right, of a full-blown branded e-commerce site. However, for a standalone sales page, it gets the job done, right? So if we're looking at selling our customers, we're looking at appealing to them utilizing these features, then one of the easiest ways to do it is through video. Undeniably, video is going to give us an edge into the product lifecycle, the product usage, and overall the audience relevance that we're looking for when we start running our advertising. A quick note before we get into the whole ad slash mini copywriting slash writing engaging ads things. Let me show you an example. Okay, so this is the power bank you chose, right? Solar energy power bank is 10,000 milliamps, which is fine, whatever. It's also QI wireless, which is great. Okay, one of the shortcomings of this, however, is a lot of phones right now, a lot of people, they may not necessarily have the new QI wireless models, which is fine, right? They may not have wireless charging, which is perfectly acceptable, but it cuts us out from a large portion of the market. So for this reason, we would probably avoid this particular model, right? However, I'm showing an alternative model, okay? So I came across this model a couple of days ago. Alright, sorry. So I came across this model a little bit ago, and I'm just going to click into a few versions of it. We're going to take a look at it. This is going to be the power bank model that we are using for a couple of reasons, okay? If this would cooperate with me. Okay. So, not this one specifically, but this style is, well, I should clarify. So, this is huge potential for a variety of reasons. One, I think there's only one person that is actively running something like this, so the concept's still pretty new. Two, it's convenient. The gimmick, quote unquote, surrounding this product actually works well for what it does. Essentially, it's just providing you small needed bursts of energy throughout the day, which the convenience versus the larger size power banks doesn't go unnoticed. Now, the reason I would probably look at this model versus the model that you have, one, it's wider availability, so we are going to be able to reach a larger user base just off the bat with our advertising. That's going to give us a better chance at actually succeeding, which is what this whole thing is about. Two, it doesn't seem to be worn out just yet. Power banks, while they're still relevant, still good, they have a new gimmick once every couple months, realistically. Okay, so gimmick, cylinder portable. One up here has a built-in, what is that, a flashlight? It's a solar charge one, has a built-in flashlight. Kind of gimmicky. What is that? Let's say 50,000 for $5. That has to be a typo. Yeah, there's no way that's not a typo. Not really. Again, the solar power part is not really gimmicky, I would have to say, but I would have to say the fact it's incorporated specifically into a power bank. You want power on the go, right? You don't have to charge up your power on the go. While it may be situationally convenient, not really a feature that we would look at getting, right? Another reason why I'm sending, we're probably going to stick with this or go with this one is the availability for not really upsells, but how would you put it? Not easy replacement either. I guess the closest term would be an upsell. This is going to give you a solid base if this would ever load. So it's going to give you a solid base, right? Realistically, you could expand and offer multiple packs up front, just including more, portable charge units, and that is pretty much zero work on your end. When zero working on the supplier eye, they're literally just an option in the store. So the chance for increased revenue specifically from that is something that I should say, should take a closer look at. There's definitely potential in the product. What I haven't done yet is I haven't checked it on Amazon at all, ever. So we're gonna go see. I should probably go back home. We're gonna go see just what's up with it. And we're not seeing here in the first. Okay, one iteration here in the first results, but nothing. No offers from it, no sales from it. One iteration on the first page. Either they suck at SEO or Amazon SEO, or not many people are onto it yet. Overall, oh, here we go. Okay, now they're related. We have a ton. Let's check out these. These have some reviews, so let's look at these versus. Let's see. Let's look at determination. Similar model. I don't the size of lipstick. Prices exponentially cheaper. Larger capacity size. That, I don't know how I feel about that. I need this to go watch this video. Okay, just a done video. This literally could be shot on the phone. Actually, I think, wow, yeah, I know what this video is. 90% sure they just ripped it from Alibaba, which, whatever. But, sales, right? So, same type of product, more of an all-in-one versus take it as you go. It has reviews, potential, especially in the power bank realm. And then I guess it's just same model or same product, different color that I had listed. But other than that, there's no real standouts. What's this? This just looks interesting, so I was curious. Seems like it does a ton of stuff. Yeah, well, nothing fun down the rabbit hole this time. So looks like we're going to stick with our original model. But that's just want to point that out. So when we're on a call doing ads, you understand why we chose that model versus the other model.